Why do some Star Wars fans want Han Solo movie to flop? Can you tell me why? Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to discuss about the whole boycott conversation surrounding Han Solo, a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars story. I mean, we know the movie is very soon is gonna be released, and some people have been waiting to watch it and see what's gonna happen on this Star Wars story. However, there's also a lot of conversation on the fans getting together to boycott the film because they're not happy with the direction Disney, more specifically Lucasfilm, is taking this film, the beloved franchise. So some people were asking me, oh, what do you think about it? How do you stand? And I found this article on Vulture, which I thought it was very interesting. So I'm going to read some parts of this article. But before I get into the article, I would say this about the boycott. I believe every single person is entitled to do whatever they want with their money, okay? I believe that if you are truly unhappy with the Star Wars franchise, if it's it is a beloved franchise for a lot of people, but like it's dear to your heart and you don't want to spend money because you're not happy with the product that they are giving you, by all means, go ahead and do it. I have no problem with the people that want to boycott, and I also have no problem with people that are going to go watch the movie, for instance. I think every single person is entitled to their own opinion, and I'm not afraid of different ideas. I'm not afraid of people that have a different opinion that I do, for instance. I myself am not really happy with the direction of the new franchise for a lot of reasons. If you have been watching my channel, you know my review on The Last Jedi. I gave you the reasons why I thought that movie was terrible, disgraceful, okay, to our beloved franchise. But I think that, people that want to boycott the film, they have a very good reason why. They're upset with the film, they're not happy, and they just basically don't want to give their money to support something that, they don't believe in. So, yes, I have no problem with that, okay? People that want to do it, go ahead and do it, or at least don't watch it multiple times like we usually do. But I don't know. I myself, I'm going to give the movie the benefit of a doubt, even though I don't really think it's going to be that great. I mean, who knows? I don't know. However, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But let's discuss this article on Vulture, because I thought this is really interesting. Vulture, they're pretty much in every single movie release and TV show release. They're very famous. I've actually been to one of their festival, and I thought it was very interesting. So this article was actually launched in February 9th, 2018. So it's been a while. It was written by Chris Lee, and it's titled, "Why Do Some Star Wars Fans Want Han Solo Movie to Flop?" Okay, so let's get into this. Since the early 80s, Star Wars fans have ranked among the pop culture's most ardent, voluble, hope I'm saying that right, in all most classical modes of terms, such as reciting the nod in solemn agreement that Han, not Greedo, shot first. They named their children Anakin and Leia, even, and things like that. Let's go continue. But increasingly, Star Wars fans are also known to rain down righteous scorn whenever confronted by a perceived affront to their cherished IP. The recent backlash against The Last Jedi for being too jokey, for Luke Skywalker being sufficiently Obi-Wan Kenobi-ish, I have a comment about this. I saw a clip on YouTube from the director and the Jedi, or something like that. That documentary about The Last Jedi, where one of the producers, or Rian Johnson's right-hand man, saying that, he thinks he's Luke Skywalker, but he's actually Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'll tell you no. Luke Skywalker was nothing close to Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Last Jedi, okay? Perhaps if he was a little bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi, people wouldn't have been that upset, or myself included, because I don't even think that, so this is actually right. He was not even close to Obi-Wan Kenobi, even though in that documentary the guy said he's Obi, he's not Luke. No, he was not Obi, my friend. No, have you ever even seen the original trilogy? But anyways, let's continue. And for straying too far from the franchise established tone, even while the film received no small number of critical raves. So The Last Jedi got the lowest Rotten Tomatoes audience score. I've addressed this on one of my videos. Taking 1.3 billion in global box office receipt, and came up about 200 million short of financial analytic predictions. So yes, The Last Jedi made a lot of money, but it did underperform. It didn't perform as well as The Force Awakens and previous films. So I mean, there's a red flag right there, right? That people are not truly happy with it. And then, so this article came out right when the teaser came out for Solo, like when close to the Super Bowl. And it's saying that just 4 months from the release, which right now we're pretty much there, it's coming out very soon. This standalone prequel that is set to fill in the backstory of Harrison Ford's beloved space smuggler Han Solo, a veil of secrecy and bad buzz had developed, and Alden Anchor, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. The guy that's playing Han Solo, starring the space western. Right around the time of the trailer dropped, a curious thing happened. Star Wars fans began to actively root for the film to flop. And then there is a quote from Angry Joe. Part of us want this film to fail. Angry Joe has a lot of subscribers, so he has a lot of views. And I understand the reason why Star Wars fans would like this to flop, because this is kind of that tough love. I think people that are rooting for the movie to flop, or they want to boycott, it's not because they hate Star Wars, but it's quite the contrary. It's because they love Star Wars and they wanted to see it be treated in a pleasing way, okay? So I completely understand people that are thinking, I'm not going to pay money to watch this crap, because, until it is proven that they go back on track and they start treating these characters right, people are going to decide to do it. Go ahead and do it. I completely understand your reasoning behind it, okay? Obviously, the Solo, I'm going to go watch it for the purpose of review and writing that I got to do. But if I don't like the movie, I am definitely not going to be paying money to watch it multiple times. But let's continue. Let's see what else they say over here. And then, it continues saying, another YouTuber, I think it's still Joe. Honestly, I didn't want a movie about Han Solo, added the co-host Joe Lopez. And a lot of people said that too. Like I myself, for instance, I didn't want a Han Solo movie either. It's not because I hate Han Solo. It's quite the contrary. It's because I love Han Solo. And what they did to Luke Skywalker, if I go watch this film and they do the same thing with Han Solo, then I am probably not going to be able to watch any more Star Wars films, So yes, I am a little bit scared of what they're going to do, because now they have all in their hands. They can destroy the character like they did to Luke Skywalker, and obviously they're saying, another person commented on my channel on one of my reviews, because I said, this guy Alden, he doesn't look like Han Solo. And then someone said, well, do you want actors to be clones and blah, blah, blah? No, I don't want them to be clones. And perhaps you misunderstood what I said. They don't look like it. Obviously, physically, he doesn't look like it because he's not Harrison Ford. However, what I meant by it is that he's not portrayed the Han Solo the way Han Solo is, you know. And this is a canon film, okay? This is Han Solo, okay? But I look at that guy and I see just a guy playing Han Solo. He's not Han Solo. And I believe that there were better options out there, but the guy was not cast. So yeah, I personally would love to have seen Anthony Ingruber, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correct, but you know, this guy has been on YouTube doing impersonations of Han Solo, and oh my God, he is the spitting image of Harrison Ford. You know, there's the whole thing like Marvel against the Star Wars, for instance. You see how Marvel Studios are treating their fans versus how Lucasfilm is treating them fans. You know, we've been seeing people that actually work there saying, oh, fanboys, we don't have to cater to the fanboys and blah, blah, blah. And Ryan Johnson said, oh, we had to actually put ourselves in our own bubble to basically create the kind of film that we want, you know, because our agenda is more important. But they're forgetting that the fans are the ones spending money on it, okay? The fans, how come they can dare to say that they don't have to cater to the fans? Or like, who are you making these movies for, okay? If you don't cater to the fans are just going to get tired of it, and they're going to do what they're deciding to do now, try to boycott the film. Now, I don't know if the movie is definitely going to flop, okay? Because I believe a lot of people are still going to go and watch it. But what I do think is that if the movie does not deliver, what they're going to do, they're not going to go back and watch it multiple times. That's what usually fans do. You know, like for instance, I've seen The Force Awakens, which I didn't love, but I enjoyed it a lot. I saw it 5 times in the movies, okay? So what is that? Almost $100 or more in ticket sales. However, I saw The Last Jedi once. I didn't even see it on DVD, or like I didn't buy the DVD, which is the first, or the Blu-ray, okay? I only saw it once, so perhaps that's why it underperformed as well. You know, it was 200 million less than what they expected. So yeah, unfortunately, I believe that if they continue to mistreat the fans like that, thinking that, okay, we don't have to cater to the fans or things like that, I don't think it's going to linger on or just be a movie that is going to keep going and passing through generations, just like the originals and even the prequels did, you know. But heading towards the end of this video, because it's getting too long, the article continues by saying like this. So is there any possible scenario that Han Solo will indeed flop? Not likely, according to the senior media analyst Paul something. He says, in a way, Star Wars films are flop proof, he says. Even if you hear it may not be the best of them, how can you be a fan and not go? If you want to talk about it, you have to go and see it. The difference between love and like could be a couple of $100 million. It could be more, he continues. By the way, the fact that people are pissed off is good. They're passionate. They're getting all worked up. They're passionate. They're getting all worked up. They want more info and they're not getting it, so they're lashing out. Sometimes that mystery factor can be frustrating for fans who literally cannot wait to see the next Star Wars movie. Very few brands can create that level of conversation, but if the movie comes out and everyone loves it, all is forgiven in an instant. And the interesting thing about this article, in my opinion, is that it kind of see the perspective of the fan and the fandom, and why the fandom is kind of deciding to boycott the film and want the film to flop. Because apparently, you know, Disney, a corporate, they understand money, and if you hurt their pockets, probably they will understand, oh, maybe we should check our product. But as long as their pockets are not being hurt, they're just giving us whatever, you know. However, I don't agree that if this movie is very good, everything is going to be forgiven, because this movie does not belong on the trilogy, on the sequel, right? So I believe that perhaps after episode 9, if episode 9 is pleasing to the audiences, perhaps, then it could be forgiven. But I find it very hard that there's a way to undo what they did to Luke Skywalker. There's no way to unsee him milking a stupid alien sea cow, okay? There's no way for us to unsee Leia flying through space like that. There's no way that we can unsee Rey just training herself to be a Jedi with no freaking training whatsoever. There's no way for us to unsee any of that, or Snoke being killed off. why even bring him to the saga to begin with? So there's no way for us to unseen that. So I don't know. I don't think that this movie, if this movie does well, at least like if the fans like, I still don't think that people are going to forgive The Last Jedi, because it doesn't belong in that trilogy, okay? This comes way before even the original films, which is that's why it's also even more worried, because we really don't want our beloved character to be destroyed. And after all these problems that the article phrases very well, it talks about budget problems, it talks about coaching, the acting coach, it talks about Ron Howard comes in within pretty much 80% of the film was already shot, and then they had to reshoot pretty much a lot of it, people being fired and things like that. All this stuff like he raises a red flag for sure. And the fact that when we see the trailer, the guy Alden does not, it doesn't sound like Han Solo at all. He's a little bit different, completely different. And there were better options out there, but obviously they're not going to give what the fans want. To me, I think the perfect person would have been Anthony Ingruber. He already played the younger version of Han Solo. I know that the movie that he played, it was Age of Adeline, something like that. Obviously, his role was kind of small and to be but it's still, he would have been a better option, because he's so like him, He is so like it, at the point that he was even chosen to play the younger version of him, and he's tall like him, But whatever. I just hate to see. I've seen a couple of videos of some fans over there that just say, oh, if people keep complaining like that, they're going to stop making movies and blah, blah, blah. But to be honest with you, I would rather them to stop making movies than making movies and destroying beloved characters, because that means the franchise is just not going to keep going, Like there are some people that are just so crazy fanatics that they're not even able to be critical of something that you love, And I believe that the boycott thing is kind of a tough love, if you're, and people are entitled to do that. So if people that reached out to me and they wanted to know my opinion, this is my opinion. You are entitled to do so, because you are entitled to do whatever you want with your money, okay? If you're unhappy with Disney and with the product that they are giving you, and you don't want to support and go watch the movies, by all means, don't watch their movies, until they actually fix this. But I truly wish that, all I want is a good movie, okay? I don't wish Star Wars to die or the movies to flop or anything like that. But I do wish to have my Star Wars back, that movie that actually united people, that movie that it was fun to watch with everyone, that we had great discussions about it, and not a movie that it's polarizing, and a movie that actually creates divisions and people are actually yelling at each other. That's not what I want. And then but I don't know. So yeah, guys, what do you think about this whole boycott? Are you also one of those? Are you gonna boycott the film? Are you not gonna watch it? Do you don't want to spend your money on Disney, or are you gonna give it a chance, the benefit of a doubt? I would love to hear all your ideas on it. And let's talk, let's discuss. I really want to hear. I'm also going to put the link to this article below so you can check and you can read it yourself. And let's see. Very soon we're going to find out how this movie is going to perform. If it's going to do well, if it's going to flop. I don't think it will flop per se, but it might not be, I don't know, it might not do too well. In fact, when I was watching Infinity War, when Solo came out, people didn't even care. Like, people were not, no one was talking about it, no one was excited about it, but there was some other trailer, I can't remember, and people were like, yeah, kind of cheering on the trailer, so I don't know. But I'm very, very curious to find out how this movie is going to deliver. But I don't think that, even if it's very, very good, I don't think it's going to erase the mess from The Last Jedi, because this movie does not have anything to do with The Last Jedi, okay? Episode 9 is what potentially could save Episode 8, if that's even possible. As I see it, I don't see it possible, but who knows? But anyways, guys, I don't want this is already being too long of a video. So heading towards the end, please let me know in the comments below what are your thoughts about this. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave your thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Bye.